Alright, I'm out here tonight working on these VFN fiberglass doors. Trying to save some weight in the car. It was 3430 last year. And I'm trying to get back down to around 3330. So hopefully we save 80-90 pounds. I've got one of the doors on, and the reason why I'm making this video is a few different reasons, but one being trying to use the factory hinges, the factory latch, and the factory outer handle. I don't see anyone that has done it that I'm aware of, and no information on it. So the good news is it can be done. It is almost done right now on this side. So I'll show you guys that. And it's temporary just for mock-up and fitment, but I can see enough. I'm going to open this up here for you guys to know that it's going to work. So I had to trim out here. These doors don't come trimmed at all. Put my bolts in, and I have one more I've got to put in still. And then on the striker itself, if you look, I had to offset this part of the striker for the door, for the striker would be out further because the door was too far in and I was out of adjustment here. But the nice thing about that is now I have full adjustment just like I would factory, so that worked out great, and I'll fill that in and grind it down. But then as far as the hinges go, I actually removed the big spring that's on here from the factory because that would have been too heavy for these doors. And I'm going to add a lighter spring there for it still works just like factory. And I did have to cut an access hole here, and then I'm going to make a panel that goes across the inside there. You can see that outline is. So you won't see any of that. And then the reason why I did it here is because I used the factory plates and hardware to mount this door. So that kind of worked out awesome. It helps support the back of the door. You wouldn't want to use just bolts because it needs something to support it to give it a bigger surface area. But that all worked out great. If you look on this bottom hinge, you can see the hinge itself sits inward more on the door. The door sits outward more on the hinge. But it does work. Still need to do some more alignment. Next step, I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes for the outer latch. And there's another spot here I'm going to have to cut. And then hook up that linkage rod, which it may need to be shortened or bent a little bit, but it should work just fine. And then I've still got to trim down the outside. It's actually too tall, and I've already trimmed this some. But you can see where that seal, how it's sitting outward there, that's how it should be everywhere. So didn't want to go too far until I got it opening and closing and somewhat lined up, the body line and latching, but it's actually coming out very well. I'm decently happy with VFN on the fitment of this. This worries me a little bit. It's like it needs to be tipped in a little, but we'll see what happens there once we get it trimmed down. But I'm excited. It's be nice to have the factory hinges and latches and handles, all that working. If you wanted it to be as light as possible, aftermarket lighter stuff would make some sense. Those factory hinges are somewhat heavy, but my goal, 80 or 90 pounds, I think we shouldn't have a problem hitting that. So I like this way. But nope, just some information on that, and showing you guys how these things fit. Expect some work. It takes some time. Not something you're going to do in a weekend, but good winter project. That's exactly what I'm doing here, and just trying to get this thing lightened up a little bit. And my thought was, hey, if I do the doors, I can always go back to the factory doors, and I have them just for that. So there's nothing we've done here that's not irreversible, and it'd be not a problem to switch them back if I wanted to. So I like this idea, and so far it's coming out pretty well. I'll update you guys once I get the outer handle on, and then we're going to get started on the other side, But I'll probably update you guys once I get the outer handle and then get the fitment a little better. But all in all, for the money and so far the time involved, I think we've made pretty good headway. Thanks.